Hello and welcome to this channel about cryptocurrency education. Today I'd like to talk about this article that came actually out on the 10th of June, but it is still very much up to date. And if anything, we are actually moving more into the direction that these guys actually have said, or in particular Darren here who wrote the article. So let's talk about that. This is all about potentially having Bitcoin as a legal tender in more countries than El Salvador. And first of all, I know some of you guys are not particularly necessarily into Bitcoin. I know you're also invested in Cardano, as I am, and other altcoins and cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, maybe Algorand, maybe Solana, maybe Ripple, and that's fine. And I think also with Bitcoin, I mean, it is pretty much still the coin and the cryptocurrency that steams ahead if anything happens. So basically everything still follows Bitcoin, and if markets go up, it's probably Bitcoin doing it first anyway. And if there are bullish news about Bitcoin, normally the other coins follow. So this is still very, very important. At some point in the future, maybe that might change. You know, there are people talking about Ethereum will become the biggest cryptocurrency. Then there are people talking about Cardano will be the next Ethereum. Things like that. So we will see. But if you like these moves or not, I think this is certainly positive for the cryptocurrency market. People keep talking about cryptos. The more governments and countries accept Bitcoin as legal tender, or at least consider it and talk about it, the more this will be bullish for the cryptocurrency market. Now, this article here talks about at least 4 more countries preparing to table legislation to make Bitcoin a legal tender. And I think that is huge news. I mean, just imagine more countries going in, more money flowing into Bitcoin, which will eventually pull more money into the whole cryptocurrency market because people get more trust. You know, if countries start to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, the whole crypto space, which to be honest, I mean, for you guys, most of you guys know what Bitcoin is. Most of you guys know how blockchains work, what the different cryptocurrencies are. But let's be honest, most people in the world still have no clue what crypto is. And most people, I argue, still think that it's a scam. Most people do not have an understanding what's actually going on in the crypto market and the crypto space, because the problem is you don't really hear a lot about it in the mainstream media and news. So many people don't want to bother. No, many people just don't want to understand the technique behind it and the technical aspects. So that's fine. But they need to understand that the use case is there and that these blockchains will find their way into every niche of daily life. So eventually, you know, people will have to accept it and have to understand it. But it's like today, you know, not many people know how the internet works, but they just use it. So that's how it will be in the future. You know, not necessarily, people don't necessarily have to invest in it and really have to understand it, but they need to understand that it's coming. That's what I think. And still, you don't hear a lot about it in the mainstream news. I would argue that many people still don't understand and know that El Salvador has already successfully passed that bill and will introduce Bitcoin as a legal tender. Now, first of all, actually, great news actually that El Salvador, they offer free Bitcoin to people who actually start to use or open a digital wallet. So they're offering $30. I mean, that's not much, but still offer $30 worth of Bitcoin to any citizen who signs up for a digital wallet. I think that's great news as well. Just came out on the 25th of June as well. And they're just doubling down on everything. They are focusing on it. They're continuing to do it. I think there's so much innovation happening in that country, and that's just great. I love that move. Very, 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 very bold move, and great news. So they're talking about different countries potentially moving or following El Salvador, and let's go through that list. First country they talked about is Paraguay, and I mentioned that in one of my previous videos, that probably the next country that will pass a bill in Parliament to allow Bitcoin, or at least pass a bill to Parliament so that there will be a debate about it, is Paraguay. So one congressman here, Carlos Rejala, he is expected to pass a bill in July with the aim to attracting cryptocurrency companies to Paraguay. And then there would be potentially also a second bill in October to have Bitcoin officially recognized, which is then the next step that would be required to basically introduce Bitcoin as legal tender. Let's talk about the next country then. We talk about Panama here. And it is also a tiny country, but it still has a lot of weight in the country in Central America. And this country really has an important, basically important standpoint in America, because it is sort of, because of the geographical location, it is sort of the link between South and Central America. Still a very important country. And if Panama became the next nation that adopted Bitcoin, and that's what they say here, the world really would sit up and take notice. Because at the moment still, even though El Salvador, I mean, it is a very bold move, but the country, the world hasn't really taken that much notice. I think they have, but you don't really see it on the mainstream media, which is, you know, just sort of misinformation and trying to downplay important news. But that's what happens all the time, unfortunately. So that was about Panama. Another country potentially is Mexico. Now, Mexico, apparently they talked about introducing a local or national cryptocurrency anyway, but it seems like that the after El Salvador's move, that there has been a lot of shift in discussions, and people apparently talk more and more about the adoption of Bitcoin potentially. That's what they say here, but the balance of thinking has now shifted towards Bitcoin. Now, if a country like Mexico, a huge country, if a country like Mexico introduced Bitcoin as legal tender, I mean, that would change everything. Another country, they say, is Venezuela. Has a lot of gold and oil reserves, but still a lot of mismanagement and, you know, I don't know if anything else is going on, but a lot of political instability as well. And they are pretty much bankrupt. So that would potentially be another great move that could potentially help the whole, you know, Central and South American continent. And then they talk about other countries to watch for example, Brazil. I mean, Brazil, if that country moved in as well, that would be huge, just huge. One of the most important nations in terms of economy in South America. Then we've got Nicaragua as well, and they even mention Argentina here. And Malta, they even mentioned Malta, which I think on this list is the only country that is not located in Central and South America. And apparently it is one of Europe's more cryptocurrency friendly countries, but still very much linked obviously to the EU and the European Union and Europe generally. And I don't know, because there's so much, I don't know why the EU or Europe, they are so much against Bitcoin. I mean, they are a bit behind on innovation anyway, generally, which is a bit unfortunate. But this just gives other countries and other continents finally the possibility and opportunity to move ahead. And maybe that is the start of like a golden age for these countries who move first into the crypto space, which is fantastic. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think is if there is if there will be another country moving into Bitcoin and allowing or adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. Let me know what you think, and if you think there is another country, which country is it? Okay, so thanks for watching this video. If you like the video, please smash the like button, and if you want to follow this channel, please subscribe and support the channel, because we're all talking about crypto here, which eventually will spread the word further and help the cryptocurrency world. All right, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.